Aloha, children of the night, and welcome to the Tiki Goth Club. Today we're going to give you a movie review of the third version of Nosferatu.
Nosferatu.
Yeah, you got to get... Hey, look at that!
What are we doing again?
We're talking about Nosferatu.
Or how about Yes-Feratu?
Nosferatu. And I didn't really learn this until recently, that Bram Stoker's Dracula was the book. Who wrote the book? What was the name?
Well, Bram Stoker wrote the book Dracula.
Yeah. Yes.
And then
And
F.W. Murnau
A German guy wanted to
make a German movie for German people.
like a German version of Dracula.
But he couldn't get the rights, and they didn't want to pay royalties.
Yeah.
So
They changed everything.
they changed everything around, but it still shot him in the ass. Like Bram Stoker's wife, the wife that survived him actually sued, or it might have been the daughter. Somebody from the Bram Stoker estate sued them, and they had to destroy all the copies.
What?
So they thought of the movie.
Oh,
yeah, they had to
really?
destroy hundreds of copies of this movie. Of course, there were surviving copies, thank God. But no, it was like a big shitstorm. But that originally, when he made that movie, it was obviously based off Dracula, but they switched things around because we've never heard or seen anybody do that before.
Yeah, no. When did the first Dracula movie come out?
This was 1922.
So
I want to say Nosferatu, F.W. Murnau's version, was the first version on the screen
of a vampire
version of Bram Stoker's
before
Dracula.
Bela Lugosi would.
Wait, yeah, Bela Lugosi, Todd Browning's Dracula didn't come out till 1933. So this was 1922.
So do you think there was a lot of people in Germany watching the actual Dracula movie? They're like, "Hey, they stole from Nosferatu."
Absolutely, of course they did. They're like, "Yeah, this is just Nosferatu."
I just did
that Bram Stoker.
I just did a New York accent, like as if I'm German. Yeah.
Joymans.
Oh, they stole our idea.
The Joymans.
Dracula's copying off of Orlok.
No, but it's Dracula. You can see it, especially in the new version.
Yeah.
It was like watching a remake of
Bram
Bram Stoker's Francis Ford Coppola's Bram Stoker's Dracula. It was
and it's like even the same type of characters is in it. The same plot is.
Yeah, it's just different names.
No. You're not going to see Count Dracula. You're going to see Count Orlok. And you're not Van Helsing.
His name was Von Franz.
Yeah.
Van Franz. Professor Von Frank.
Yeah.
And Emma was actually the Mina. The gal who played Emma is actually Mina in Dracula. And then there was don't remember, Tom.
Okay, and Tom's in it.
That's Jonathan Harker. What's his name? Tom.
All right, we got Count or Emma and Tom and Jeffrey, and
then Herr Nock was the Renfield character. The guy who sends him out.
I mean, literally, it is the same.
It's just the same movie. It's just names have been switched around.
But that being said, how was the original Nosferatu movie received?
Oh, it was creepy. I mean, nobody had ever seen anything like that.
No, but I mean, back in the day. I mean, was it the people love it, or did it do well, or
I actually don't know.
Did it even go any
far?
To
answer a question from a previous episode, yes, Max Schreck was really tall. He was 6'3".
Okay. All right.
No reason. I just remember that.
No. Well, the thing is,
that.
if you watch the original Nosferatu, especially the scene where the door opens up and he comes walking through it, and I remember seeing, I'm like, is he really that tall? Because he's huge.
No, he is. He was a 6'3". He was 6'3".
Okay. All right.
But yeah, I remember that from a previous episode we did. It was.
Do you think he got typecast in other movies? It's
You know, it's weird. I don't know what else he did. I don't know what his other acting credits were, but I do know, and I don't know how much of it was, sensationalized. But if you,
Yeah.
he was really into his character.
Yeah.
Like if you ever watch, which is one of my favorite Nosferatu movies,
Which?
Shadow of the Vampire. It had Willem Dafoe, who plays the Van Helsing character in the new one. He played Max Schreck, playing Count Orlok. It's a movie about the making.
Whoa.
John Malkovich plays
How-
F.W. Murnau.
How meta is that?
It gets real meta, and then Willem Dafoe now plays the Professor von Frank, who's Van Helsing.
When did you yourself see the original Nosferatu?
I want to say the actual first time we watched it, I actually watched it all the way through.
Yeah.
We went and saw it in a church, and there was somebody playing an organ to it.
Oh, great.
And that's the only way I think you should watch Nosferatu. I mean, we went and saw it at the Paramount Theater, where the whole stage is an organ.
Oh, I heard about
and
that.
then they have the screen, and that was on Halloween night.
Oh, that would have been killer.
Perfect. Paramount Theater, the whole stage, they're playing the frickin' pipe organ, and you're watching.
But you saw it like the first time on it,
in
in a
small
church.
church, and somebody was playing a keyboard, but it was the organ. And I want to say that was the first time I actually watched. I want to say that's probably like 2006. So yeah, I was a lot older. Up until that point, I'd only seen like production stills, and I'm sure if I searched hard enough, I could have found like a copy of it. But the actual first time I remember watching it through entirely was in a church, and it was really cool. That's the only way to watch Nosferatu, the original, by the way.
You know what? I mean, seriously. I mean, I don't think. I mean, I've always knew of Nosferatu. I've seen the scenes.
Yeah,
but probably the first time where I actually sat down and watched it, what had to have been like the early 2000s or like when YouTube came out.
Yeah,
because I don't know if like shit. I mean, like I don't know if there was any place where I could go to rent it.
No, yeah, like well,
you couldn't find that a Hollywood Video, could you?
No, I mean they have. I'm sure they have copies of it now. But
Yeah.
Back then it was. I mean, at that time, if you're gonna watch anything like that, you'd be watching the original Dracula.
Yeah.
And at that, I was obsessed with Bram Stoker's Dracula. I thought that was like you couldn't top that.
And did they? I mean, did they show Nosferatu on TV at all? Because I knew like there was all like the horror, like the shock theater
It was always
kind
Dracula.
of stuff.
It was always
Yeah.
Dracula. You never saw Nosferatu.
No.
Like I said, I only saw it in production stills and books. I never. I don't know that you could have rented. I'm sure, like, if I was a lot older and hip, and back in the '90s or something, Scarecrow Video, I could have probably found a copy. They probably would have had a copy there. But now I'm sure you could totally get it anywhere. They have it in color.
Well, it's on your TV right now, so you're streaming it as we're filming.
I'm streaming it now. You can do anything here.
But I'll tell you what I mean, like
in the future.
So I remember the first time I saw it, like it's slow moving, and obviously it's a silent film.
Yeah.
But all the scenes of Orlok are great. Like that is a legitimately creepy character. The scenes that they're like legitimately creepy.
It's iconic.
Yeah, very iconic.
That look is
like
iconic.
or the scene where he's going up the stairs.
Yeah,
and
the
you see
shadows.
the shadow.
Yeah, that's German expressionism.
Yeah.
It was very popular back then. I mean, it was made by F.W. Murnau, a German. But that's where you had the Cabinet of Dr. Caligari. You had that's what lighting and shadows.
Yeah,
that stuff stays with you forever, and it carries on into the new film.
Yeah, so that's the reason why I like. There was another Nosferatu movie that came out with Herzog made it or something.
Yeah, and I'm not gonna lie, I never saw it.
I've never seen it.
Klaus Kinski playing the role, and I never actually watched it.
No, I've seen trailers for it, and it just I don't know. I mean, it just looks whatever.
It looks like that bad '70s movie that I don't want to watch. Like bad '70s. There's like a bunch of these bad '70s horror movies that are just like grainy. And you just see it, and they take forever.
Yep.
One that comes to mind is one called Ghost Story. It actually has Fred Astaire. And there's like an image of it of a lady in the middle of the road, and it looks very haunting.
Yeah.
And that's the only thing kind of scary that happens.
That's great.
Other than that, it's just old people in a mansion.
That's great.
And that's what a lot of movies were in the late 70s that were considered horror movies. old people in mansions, and it was boring.
Well, I've been watching going through like a shit ton of like old horror movies, like from the 50s and the 60s, and it's the same thing. Most of them, there's just nothing going on, and like till like the end. Like there's like movies where I'm watching, and it's like there's like 15 minutes left. I'm like, oh, now all the action's gonna happen.
Or you just get halfway through it and going, am I being punked?
Yeah, I mean, it feels that way. I mean, like there's certain movies I'm watching, I'm like nothing's going on here.
Which brings us to
Nosferatu 2024.
2024.
Now I did see trailers for it. I've seen a little bit about it. I'm like, now that looks legitimately creepy.
It does.
And it really sparked my
And
interest.
think about that director, Robert Eggers.
Yeah.
The cinematography in his movies is beautiful.
Yes.
I love the lens.
Yeah.
He's got movies like The Witch.
Mm-hmm.
All about atmosphere. And with Nosferatu, he creates the atmosphere.
Yep.
It's like they put a filter in beautiful cinematography as it is.
Yes.
That makes it like it is black and white. Like there's a new tint to the movie that I was like, this is interesting to look at. But that's the thing. You feel like you're in a museum looking at art. It's not like a movie experience where it is a slow burn, and all his movies have all been like that, like The Lighthouse. I mean, it's a quest.
The movie is like 2 hours and 10 minutes or something like that. And I mean, I feel exactly the same way as you. I love the movie, but they literally could have shaved off like a half hour. Yeah.
Yeah.
And another thing too is just sort of like it kind of had these like highs and lows, where like something's going on and things are getting getting a little creepy, and then it kind of dies down, and then it'll do this, and it just seems like
it's focused on that. He captures the atmosphere. He did it in The Witch. That's what I really liked about The Witch. It's like you felt like you were hanging out with a bunch of
witches,
a bunch of fucking pilgrims in a possessed forest.
Yeah,
and it felt like that. And then in this movie, there's some striking images, like her staring in the camera with the white eyes.
Oh, God, yeah.
She does some Linda Blair shit there.
I think she steals the show. And that's Johnny Depp's daughter.
It is, Lily Rose
Lily
Depp.
Rose. And it was one of those things, because I didn't know that going in. I just had no idea,
Yeah.
I just knew that the guy who played Pennywise is going to be playing Orlok.
Bill Skarsgård. He's become quite the Lon Chaney.
Yes, he has.
He's becoming the man of 1,000,000 faces, 100 faces, 1,000 faces, because this is a guy who has been Pennywise.
Mm-hmm.
He's been the Crow.
Mm-hmm.
And now he's Nosferatu.
Yeah.
With a big dick broom of a mustache.
Yeah.
Good Lord.
Yeah, what did you think about that?
Well, it's the book. In the book, Dracula had a big dick broom of a mustache.
Yeah.
So they're just keeping up with that. But man, he looked like Dr. Robotnik from Sonic the Hedgehog.
They kind of kept him in the shadows.
They kept him in the shadows through the majority of the movie.
Yeah.
Which, that worked. And it was kind of good.
Yeah.
And I did like the voice.
Yeah.
The voice was really good. It was a new twist on the Dracula voice, and they definitely did their homework. But no, the voice was really good.
The voices and how they recorded the voice, it was almost kind of like the same thing as like Darth Vader to me. It seemed like, because whenever he talked, everyone else's vocals sounded normal, and then whenever he would talk, it'd be like, there was like all this echo and all this other shit going on.
But no, they captured what Dracula is, and he's just a cold-hearted, dead, vicious animal, and that's what he was. But they threw in that love story there.
Yeah.
They threw in the love story, and
which I didn't understand. So how did that work? At the very, very beginning of the movie,
she basically conjured him.
She conjures him.
Yeah, she kind of conjures that.
Oh, why?
And that's how he. I don't know. Women do crazy shit.
Yeah.
She basically, I want to say, sets that whole thing in motion. So her fiance, the Jonathan Harker, gets sent by, Renfield, Herr Knock.
Yeah.
And it kind of sets in motion, like it's all part of the plan kind of thing. And that's how he comes. And then, he's basically a plague. They bring in the Demeter, but it goes by another name, like the Xperia or something. Like they said, they changed the names of everything, but it's the Demeter. That's the boat that gets Dracula from Transylvania. In this one, it's like Varnschnen.
Yeah, as opposed to like England.
It's not Transylvania.
All right,
Let's get him into England, and basically he's a plague. And I love that shot when it's like all the rats are going into the city. You know, it's like fucking here comes COVID.
Yeah.
You know, I'm gonna wipe out this entire town, and you see that shot of his shadow going across the city. That's really good. You know, they're keeping in that German expressionism in there. You know, that's what he is. He's a plague. He's a disease invading the city, and he finds, you know, it's like there's the husband that, you know, Emma stays with, and that's basically Lucy and her betrothed, which was Lord Arthur Holmwood. I think that's what his name was. Okay. Anyways, Nosferatu kills all them, even the kids.
Yeah.
And then, you know, he's so freaking grief-stricken, he goes and fucks her disease-plagued body and then gets the disease himself. So you get your necrophilia in there.
Yeah.
You know, it's real dark. And, Nosferatu finally gets into the bedroom of Emma, and they shag until the sunrise, and they both fucking die. Yeah, that is a love story right there.
And essentially the sunlight killed them, just like the original movie.
Just like the original movie. Sunlight kills. Vitamin D.
Would you say there's a little bit of necrophilia going on in this movie?
Everybody's fascinated by that. It's Dracula. Dracula is necrophilia. Loving you is like loving the dead. It's very typo negative. She's got a date at midnight.
Well, okay.
Nosferatu.
The Tiki Goth Club is way more than just this YouTube program. It's also a club that you can join. For $15, you can become a member of the Tiki Goth Club. You get your own membership card with your own number. I'll send you a couple stickers and a pin. I also have shirts for sale, patches, and glasses. If you're interested in any of this, head over to my website, tikigothclub.com, and everything's there for you. The Tiki Goth Club now has an official fanzine. It's called the Tiki Nomicon. It's chock filled with articles written by actual Tiki Goth Club members, articles written by myself. It talks about news, things that are going on in the Tiki Goth Club, and it can be all yours for $5, plus $5 in shipping and handling. Head over to tikigothclub.com to get your copy today.